I'm Matt Carey, documentary editor at Deadline, and we are in the Deadline studio at Sundance with the director and producer of Every Little Thing, which is premiering in U.S. documentary competition. We are with director Sally Aiken and with producer Bettina Dalton. Congratulations on premiering in U.S. documentary competition. That's very exciting.
Surely is. It's great to be here.
The every little thing of the title are hummingbirds. So that buzz you hear in Sundance, that is coming from hummingbirds. Tell me, the origins of the film go back to reading a book by this very interesting woman, Terry Mazur. Am I pronouncing your last name right? Mazur?
Mazur. Well done. Yeah.
Second go was better. Who is an LA area resident, and explain who Terry is and the remarkable work that she does. Remarkable person and remarkable work.
Well, she is remarkable. So the origin of the project, I'll hand over to Bettina and then pick up on a little bit more about what Terry does.
So during COVID, I was going through some grief because I'd lost my husband, and I read this remarkable book called The Fastest Thing on Wings, which was Terry's story of rehabilitating hummingbirds in Hollywood. And it just made me feel, renewed and rejuvenated, and a really sort of healing book. And Sally and I had worked together a lot and very successfully, and had our film Playing with Sharks here at Sundance. So I sent the book to Sally, and she read it and put sticky notes everywhere. And then we had to convince Terry to participate. So we flew over and I met her, and she was amazing, and the rest is history.
So the book is Terry's memoir of rescuing hummingbirds in the Hollywood area. And when Bettina sent me the concept, I thought, well, how much trouble can hummingbirds get into that they need a hotline? So from that
into a lot of trouble.
So from that kind of bizarre start, what happened is that we follow Terry over the course of the spring-summer season, which is, if anyone is in LA, they'll know as peak hummingbird time. And literally, if you have an injured or wounded hummingbird that somehow comes across your path, you can phone Terry. And she will triage on the phone. You send her photos, you send her video. She's a genius. She knows exactly what's the problem. She also understands, Matt, if you're a capable finder. And if you're not, that bird needs to come to Terry's place to actually be rehabilitated through a series of cages and back into the wild. So it's really...
She's sort of triaging humans as well, in a way.
You have it, exactly. And so the film really leans into that idea of trauma and resilience. And along the way, it's a very magical journey. It can't not be. Hummingbirds are ethereal. They're beautiful. Everybody here at Sundance is, oh, what's your film? Oh, it's a film about hummingbirds. I love hummingbirds. So I think that the qualities of the bird I really wanted to evoke in the film. And hopefully within that, there's a balm for us, because it's a tough world. Yeah.
It's a tough world for these little birds. And I didn't realize that they could get injured so much, but we become emotionally invested in them, just as the finders are, but also, of course, Terry herself, and the infinite patience and care and empathy that she displays. Wow.
Yeah, that sort of deep understanding of the fragility, and her just knowing exactly what they need at what time. And she says, oh, look, this one, when it comes in, it's 2 weeks old. She knows the age when she looks at it. Quick, get it in the incubator. It needs warmth. It needs this, fruit flies. Like, she really is like a first responder, for the hummingbirds. She knows immediately what to do. She also knows how to treat the finders when they come in. She knows those that are fragile, those that just really want to get the bird off their hands because they don't know what to do. So it also is a reflection of LA. The people that come in represent the diversity of LA, the diversity of personality, personalities. But the one thing in common is that a hummingbird on the ground, you cannot stoop down and pick up a hummingbird. It's like there's this, it's compelling. You have to rescue this thing. No matter what your personality is, it brings people to their knees.
Yeah, indeed. And I think one of the things that's really important about Terry and about your film is to reframe our relationship with nature, if I could put it that way, which you do in your previous film Playing with Sharks, where there's prejudice against sharks.
Right.
It always shark-infested waters.
Right.
Well, where are the sharks supposed to be?
Exactly, shark attack.
Are we, yeah. Is this human-infested Park City?
Yeah, well, actually, yes.
Yes, it is.
Actually, don't go there with that analogy, Matt. That's kind of good. But you're right, and the thing is about all of these relationships, both Valerie Taylor's with sharks and Terry's with hummingbirds. We are all on this planet, not just humans, and they have perceptions we do not have. So when I say the film is magical, what we're actually reaching for is the idea that humans are not superior necessarily, and that actually there is a possibility to move through this world with a little more kindness, a little more empathy, and that is exemplified in the work that Terry does with the hummingbirds. But actually, it's a bigger message. It's a universal idea. Things get broken, things can be repaired. Actually, the hummingbirds are reminders of what is already in us and our ability to be resilient and hope. Yeah.
Well, they are incredible creatures. I mean, to state the obvious, there are many things that they can do that humans don't do, beginning with flying.
Backwards.
Now, that applies to almost every bird. They're flightless birds. But there's a biggie right there. But flying upside down in every which direction, and the flapping of wings at, 50 beats per second?
Depending on the species. It's crazy.
Incredible. And
That
we had a
nature's
brilliant
produced such a thing.
a brilliant camera woman who shot with a Phantom camera that shoots at 1,000 frames a second. So, that ability to capture the hummingbird and actually be able to observe, the wing beat and the joints and the engineering is mesmerizing.
I mean, one of the things actually in thinking about the film, imagining the film, was the delight in thinking about how to see the tiniest birds writ large on a big screen. And that idea of those tiny birds and this sprawling metropolis of Los Angeles. And something in that going deep into the hummingbird realm, as Patina says, with this extraordinary cinematography in the film. It was such a beautiful project as a director, so visual. Their iridescence on their throats, the colours. I mean, if you don't even want to go with some themes and you want some visual delight, it's just beautiful.
And I don't know whether I'm anthropomorphizing. I don't think I am, but they appear to have personalities. I mean, for instance, there is Alexa and Mikhail. I'm looking at their names. And Mikhail is trying to strike up a romance, apparently, with Alexa, who is somewhat indifferent to his charms. But they all seem to have personalities.
They are a joy. And, just like high school, where you'll get the bully and the popular girl, and then the person who's shy and the one that's wanted, they're just like us. And the more you use these macro lenses and the slow-mo and you enter into that world, you do, these personalities, and through Terry's eyes, because that's how she sees the birds too. And so, hopefully by the end of the film, you are championing these tiny, beautiful little creatures all the way through to being rescued and released back into the wild.
And one of the most delightful things was in the morning you'd come out and the little chicks would get on top of each other and form like a little pyramid of chicks that were all huddled together.
Oh my God, it's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, it's a hummingbird pyramid. And then we had, they actually became quite gregarious among each other. In the wild, there's just mum and the chicks, and the males fight like crazy. They're real warriors. But when they're together, they form these extraordinary bonds, and at night they snuggle up against each other, and we got to see them right up close. I remember thinking, oh my God, they've got eyelashes.
They do. They do. And actually, one of the things that Terry does is when people will bring a wounded bird, and it can be anything. It can be chicks that have fallen out of a nest. It can be, teenage birds that are going too fast and they, smash into something. It can be a windstorm. I mean, they're delicate, they're tiny. All manner of things can strike them down. But she brings people in. She is all business. It's as Tina said, it's first response. And then once the bird is calm, people are like, what? And she brings out her magnifying glasses. They look in close. She talks them through the process. People have so many questions. It's an amazing reflection on the fact that we share this planet with so many other creatures, so many other little things, and we kind of don't know anything about them. And so to kind of take a moment and be curious and be empathetic to their world, and then be absolutely enamored by their world and realize that, it's life is precarious and it's precious.
Yeah, they're
And
little
transient,
miracles.
which they are.
They're
When you
transient.
bury a hummingbird within a matter of days, because the bones are so hollow, and so light, they literally disintegrate.
That
Within
was stunning
days,
to
which
learn
is
that in the film.
yeah, it's
wouldn't
it's so
have thought.
ephemeral, the whole life existence. So that's the other kind of message, I guess, for us.
Yeah.
Well, it's a wonderful, beautiful film, and just invites us into a magical world, as you said, and premiering in U.S. documentary competition. Again, congratulations to you, Bettina Dalton, and to Sally Aitken, the director of Every Little Thing. And we hear that song.
We sure do.
There's a little reggae too.
There's a little
Every
reggae. There's a little kind of beach culture. It's a fun film. Yeah.
It's a wonderful
And-
film. Thank you so
thank-
much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.